Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk and Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours. Today's date is January the 5th, 2014, and I just would like to do a video to welcome in the New Year's energy, particularly in terms of colour, and you can see some of the predominant colours for this year that I've got out in front of me. And also a meditation just to help us to step into this new energy, which those of you that have been following me on my Facebook page, I've been mentioning for a few days, still feels a little bit unsettled, but it feels as though it's getting a little bit clearer, and it will become much stronger through the next few days, I feel. So a meditation just to help us with that process. Firstly, hope you had a great Christmas and a new year that is full of what you want it to be. It very much feels as though Metatron is saying any year is what we make it, really. But it's just very important to start our new year with the best of intentions. So this is hopefully what this video is going to help you with. In terms of the colours for this year, I'm quite interested in numerology. And if we look at the calendar date 2014, if you add 2 and 0 and 1 and 4 together, you get 7. So we're in a 7-year numerologically. And in terms of colours, 7 links into this beautiful colour here, which is turquoise. And this bottle from the Colour Mirrors system that I teach is turquoise over turquoise. It might not be coming out quite clearly on the video, but it's a turquoise bottle. In fact, I think it shows up better if I put it against the white again. It's this one we're linking into. And funnily, or maybe not so funnily, number 7 is called Neptune, and Neptune, of course, relates to the god of the sea. He rules our subconscious, so he rules what is not necessarily within the conscious mind. But Neptune, as a god, is very much linked into the element of water. And I don't know, obviously, where all of you are that are watching this video, but certainly in the UK, and I have friends around Europe as well at the moment who've really been experiencing quite severe weather at the start of this New Year period, and it's all linked into water. Whether it's too much rain or too much snow that we're having over in Canada and North America at the moment. But certainly in the UK, we've just got a predominance of rain, and not normal rain really. It's intense rain that's going on for days and days. We've got massive flooding across the UK, including here near my hometown of Bournemouth. And also the nature of the rain has been quite extraordinary. You know, hailstorms with sort of bits of hail falling from the sky that are just, not normal sized hail, to be perfectly honest with you. And if we link back to this 7 energy, 7 is a very watery energy. Neptune, as I say, the god of the sea. And it really feels as though water is going to be a theme for this year going forward. And water is very much to do with it's linked into our emotions. And so if those of you have a lot of water in your astrological chart, like I do, I'm a water sign, I'm a Cancerian, and with a lot of water around in my sign, it's going to feel quite a normal sort of energy that we're stepping into this year. Water, as I say, is very much about the emotions and the seesaw of emotions, getting to grips with our emotions, sensitivity. But maybe those of you that don't have a lot of water in your chart, really is a year to get in touch more with your own feelings, your own inner feelings. So that's one aspect of the year that's coming up. The other thing is that as a colour therapist, we always look at the complementary colour that goes with any colour. And the complementary colour to turquoise is this colour here, which we've got, which is coral. And again, coral very much links into the subconscious. It links into patterns of behaviour, patterns that we have around us, maybe where we self-sabotage ourselves, abuse ourselves in some way. Again, it's a very, very sensitive colour. And we talk within the colour mirror system about coral being the first thing in the sea to actually pick up pollution. It's almost like one of the barometers of pollution. It's like a sponge that just soaks up pollution. So sensitive people have to be very careful to protect themselves and look after themselves. So that's also going to be a thing for this year. the need to look after and nurture and protect ourselves in what's going to be a world where it's not going to be a bad year, but it's going to be very much a year of heightened emotions. And so those of you that took the opportunity last year to sort of learn to ride the rapids of change, and I think I talked about that last year, are going to be in a really good position starting off this year. If you haven't yet done that, don't worry, there's still plenty of time to master it, which is what Metatron is saying. But the main energy with turquoise, and I've chosen the card today for you before I sort of came on to do this filming, is this one. And it actually says, it's the turquoise emotional wisdom card, and it says at the bottom, trust the flow. The whole thing with water is that we have to trust the flow of it. You can't fight water. Water has a natural rhythm to it. And also remember Dr. Emoto's work, which all of these beautiful bottles are based on, and my own Metatron bottles are based on as well, which is that water holds memory. And it doesn't just hold memory, but it's a fluid thing. You can't box it in, you can't control it. You have to go with the flow with water. One thing that struck me over the last few days in the UK is that some of the pictures that have been coming in of storm damage, there was one picture in particular where the sea has obviously crashed over the promenade, and not only has it smashed the promenade to pieces, but it has thrown up great big huge blocks of cement, rock, crystal, I don't know what it is, but from the sea bed, and it's literally thrown it sort of back onto the earth, back onto the promenade. Showing us the power of nature and that we can't fight it, we have to go with it. But also, I really feel as though Metatron is saying here, there's a message that particular sea was doing on that day, which is, if you think about it, from a healing perspective, when we start any healing program or we start to look into developing ourselves better and looking at our spiritual path, it's very much about, it's the analogy, isn't it, of the dirty glass of water. So if you imagine within your body, there is buried emotions and buried aspects that you maybe wanted to forget, or there may be things that have hurt you in the past that you sort of push down because you don't necessarily want to see them. And you like to feel as though you are, a functional, happy person. What healing does, and particularly what Metatron healing does, is it reaches down and it gets to that sort of, the word I've got in my mind is scum, to be honest. It's like the scum that's floating on the top, but also the sediment right down at the bottom of the water, and it brings it up so it's cleansed. Because you can't be completely healthy and happy if you are carrying baggage, you're carrying pain, you're carrying hurt, you're carrying anger, whatever it is. And so this year, 2014, being this turquoise year, being this year that's ruled by Neptune and the analogy of the sea, just like the sea did, I think it was in Wales actually, it sort of brought up, this aspect of the seabed that people had forgotten about. And it wasn't a particularly beautiful or friendly things it brought up. It was great big slabs of rock that could have hurt people. But it's that old adage, and what Metatron is saying to me is better out than in terms of our own bodies. And so therefore I think we're in for a cleansing year as well. And I think this is what the weather is very much showing us at the moment, the need to cleanse, the need to detoxify. Because I work very much with Metatron's energy, I do a lot of healing work, I do a lot of teaching, and I write a lot as well. I'm sort of obviously a lot of the time I'm in the flow of this beautiful Metatron energy, which sustains me a lot of the time. But I'm a human being, and like everybody, I also have to take care of myself as well. And it's been quite interesting over Christmas because I'm sure, like many of you, I've overindulged. I've probably eaten too much. I've a little bit much, and Metatron's saying yes, you have. But I've been well through that process. I haven't succumbed to any of the bugs or the colds or the viruses, because it's almost as though my barometer of health, my barometer of light that I had within my body through working with Metatron so much, was high enough to sustain me through this period of A, self-indulgence, but B, being exposed to lots of germs around me and not necessarily picking up on them. But there's a but coming in. The but is that we're now 5 days into January, and it's as though Metatron is putting a line in the sand and saying, okay, enough is enough. And now we need to fully step into this new year energy and let go of the indulgences, the things that we've been doing that we know are not necessarily good for our bodies, so that we can really get to grips with this new year energy. I went to the gym this morning for the first time in a few weeks, and as often happens, Metatron was chatting away to me whilst I was sort of on the treadmill. It sounds weird, but it's what happens. And what he was saying to me, and this is not just to do with me, I know it's to do with a lot of you that are watching this as well, is that you cannot be spiritually fit if you are physically unfit. Now, listen again to those words. I'm not talking here about physical perfection. I'm not talking about body beautiful or anything like that. He's saying you can't be spiritually fit if you are physically unfit. So by that, he's saying that whatever place you're coming from, because don't forget, some of us are born with disabilities, things like that, and we have to manage those. But from whatever basis we're starting this new year from, all of us can be looking after ourselves a little bit better. And the more that we do that, the more benefit we will get from these new vibrations and energies that are coming into the earth. So I really feel as though, firstly, today, I would like to maybe set a challenge for all of us that are watching this, to maybe just make a commitment to ourselves and make a commitment to Archangel Metatron and ask him for his help, that we draw that line in the sand and we step into a healthier way of being. It feels as though we physically need to look after our bodies more this year because of the emotional landscape that is around us, because of all this heightened sensitivity. If you're not as physically fit as you could be, you're not going to be able to deal with some of these heightened emotions as well as you possibly could do going into this year. So it's really important that you look after your diet, you look after your fitness. And again, please, I'm stressing here, this isn't about trying to attain anything, in terms of perfection. It's just about whatever feels right for you. And you need to be talking to your body in terms of, does my body feel okay at the moment, or is it trying to tell me something? Is it trying to tell me that I need to eat more of something or less of something? Is it trying to tell me that I haven't been drinking enough water? Is it trying to tell me to get out in nature more, to do more exercise? Is it asking me to start up something like yoga or Pilates? Is it asking for some physical, emotional healing from time to time? Whatever it is, your body, listen to it and it will tell you. Okay, so I think what I would like to do now is spray one of these sprays that I've got sitting here on the table with me. I've got a collection of bottles here from the Colour Mirrors range, as well as some of my own Metatron essences. I've got an aquamarine Metatron essence, which I make, which is very beautiful, which is for the throat. But it's also a very protective spray, and it was very definite that it had to be aquamarine in colour. It wasn't to be blue, because a lot of people imagine blue into the throat, but Metatron was very clear at the end of last year that it needs to be this aquamarine colour. And it makes sense now as we go into this year why that needs to be. So I'm going to spray this firstly around me, and sort of really lovely cleansing feel to it. So firstly, I'd just like you to imagine that you've got this cleansing aquamarine light going around you, and just cleansing your body, letting go of what you need to let go of as you come into this new year period. And we're just going to step into some channeling now straight away with Metatron, and I'm just going to go straight into it actually. So I'm also going to use the original magenta colour linked to Metatron. Let's just see what he has to say to us today. He's saying stop the war with your bodies. So many of you, and this isn't just applicable to women, are at war with their bodies. They actively dislike or hate the physical body that they have been blessed with in this lifetime. No baby comes into this world hating how it looks. If you actually look at a newborn baby, or even a baby up to a couple of years old, they're fascinated by their body. They suck their fingers, they suck their toes, they explore their body. They're in awe of the beauty of all that they are. And they have no embarrassment, they have no shame in terms of what they look like. They're not concerned with their weight or the colour of their skin or the colour of their eyes that they've been born with, whether they've got black hair, red hair, yellow hair, green hair. It doesn't matter. They just love the body that they've been born into. And Metatron is saying it is so sad to see so many of you that as you go through life, and he says it's happening earlier and earlier, that we start to feel shame or disgust for our body. And he's saying this is not helped, obviously, by society and the images that we have around us the whole time in the media. But he's saying it also comes from within you, and it's to do with the fact that you haven't necessarily come to terms with your incarnation and all of the beauty and the gifts that you have to offer. He says it's so much easier to focus on the negative, and it's so much easier to dwell on our imperfections and what we can't do rather than what we can do. Again, sometimes this is compounded by educational systems that can knock us when we are vulnerable as children, when we're sensitive as children. But again, he says, if you reach into that light that is within you and reach into your soul and feel your higher self loves you completely and unconditionally and is willing you on at all times. And he's saying that the need to love yourself and to be kind to yourself is crucial for this year. And when we talk about sensitivity, we can, as we have already done, dwell on some of the more difficult aspects of sensitivity, which are that we are more sensitive to what other people say. We are more, we take knocks easily. Even if we try and protect ourselves, we can be easily hurt. We can hang on to our hurt. But he's saying the other beautiful thing about sensitivity is that you can hear the bird song, you can see the sunset, you can touch the colours, you can touch the crystals, you can experience life. To go through life without sensitivity is to actually go through life completely blind and deaf and mute. And he's saying all of us, whatever body we've been born into, have an innate sensitivity within us. And this year is the year to get in touch with that. And as we get in touch with our sensitivity within ourselves, it's going to ripple out into the wider collective. And as more and more people start to become extra sensitive, not only are things like telepathic powers and clairvoyance and intuition and second sight going to become more common knowledge, and for those of us that already understand this type of thing, we can help other people with that. But it's just going to make people realise that we are all one, that we're all connected, and that we cannot act as arrogantly and as discompassionately as we have done in the past. So in a lot of ways, this year, this turquoise year, is going to be a year that, yes, is fluid, is highly sensitive. It's going to rock some people's boats, there's no doubt about that, on their sea, so very much like the sea does. It comes in, it goes out, it can be choppy, it can be calm. Probably all of us are going to have a degree of that in our lives this year. And it's not going to be a static year. It's not going to be a year where probably the sea just remains completely as it is, or our emotional landscape remains the way it is. We're going to be changing, we're going to be evolving. We have to keep going with the tide and seeing where spirit wants to take us. The biggest mistake we can make this year is to try to stay in control. That is very clear what he's saying. So we need to be heightening our centres of receptive. Our receptors is actually what I want to say, that awaken our sensitivity. And by that, I'm talking about the chakra system. I'm talking about our ear chakras, our eyes, our third eye, our throat, the power of speech, our heart, the soles of our feet, our connection to the earth, the palms of our hand, again, sensitivity to feeling energy coming through them, just becoming aware of more and more of the world that actually is unseen but is still there. And there's going to be some mysterious happenings this year, I'm hearing, collectively, that we're all going to be witness to as well. So I think it's going to be a fascinating year in a lot of ways. So that sounds quite good, doesn't it? I want to, at this point, spray the coral angel, because we've been talking a lot about these turquoise energies. And I want to look at the complementary colour, which is the coral. Just before I do that, I'm just tuning in and seeing if there's anything else I need to say on the turquoise. Yeah, I'm just being pointed to this bottle here, number 14, which is it's a bottle that's very much reminding us that within the turquoise, it's a very good year for embracing new technologies, new ways of communicating. And I'm talking here about globally, so it's not just sort of talking more to the neighbour next door. This is about networking, reaching out. It's a good year for business, actually. For those of us that are in tune with spirit, are listening and not resisting and not trying to control, but just going where spirit wants to take us, it's potentially a very good business year ahead. And it's a year where we can reach out and do good work in whatever area of work we're working with. So that looks good as well. The turquoise dragon that I have sitting here as well, which is one that I sprayed beforehand, and in fact, I'm saying spray me now, so I'll do that, is very much a bottle of the future as well. So let's just spray turquoise dragon. Again, this is one of the colour mirror essences. It's one of my favourites, actually. So breathing in that turquoise light. If you breathe in, if you just do what I'm doing now, and just imagine that you're breathing in a turquoise light into your body. I'd like you to become aware as you breathe in the turquoise that you are made up fundamentally of water within your body. And with that turquoise energy, I'd just like you to get a sense of what the water in your body looks like. And I'm talking here about the water that is in all of the organs. It's in your stomach, it's obviously in the bladder, but it's everywhere. It's in your legs, it's in your feet. Feel very much as you can feel blood coursing through your body. Just get a sensation, or just start to imagine and visualize the water within your body. Get a sense of the temperature of it, and this will be one that has obviously been regulated by your body and is comfortable for it. Get a sense of where your body is crying out for more water. Maybe you haven't drunk enough, maybe you are dehydrated. And if that is the case, just feel for where your body now instinctively is lacking water. And you may be shown surprising organs in your body like the brain. The brain needs an awful lot of water just to keep going. You may be shown your heart, you may be shown your lungs, I don't know. But just feel for where it feels that more water may be required. Also, get a sense of where maybe there is too much accumulation of water. For those people that have water retention, it may be in your ankles, it may be in your legs, it may be in your stomach. Just let the water within your body start to flow so that it regulates itself. It goes where it's needed and it's released from where it is not needed. And this water has the ability to carry a message. And so the message that we're wanting to put into this water within your body is health, vitality, energy, and joy. Just put the vibrations of those into the water. Joy, health, vitality, energy. Just feel those affirmations as they flow through your body. And I want you to back that up now. Every time you start to drink something, pick up the glass of water that should actually be beside you and isn't actually beside me. So I need to be listening to what I'm saying here. And actually start to drink in positive messages with the water into your body, because you are the water that is within your body. Just let go of any old messages that you've given to yourself, that you're too this, you're too that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Start to affirm and use the water as a carrier of this new energy. And also use beautiful sprays, that's what they're here for. They're completely energized with particular energy and particular information. And whether you're choosing from the Colour Mirrors range, whether you're choosing from my Metatron range, use them because that's what they're there for. Okay, so that was the turquoise dragon that was really giving us an insight in terms of what we can do for our body going forward this year. Let's just look at what the coral angel is saying now. Beautiful colour coral. Actually very interesting. I just was looking in my wardrobe before I made this video. Quite interesting for you to look in your wardrobe, because we go through themes of colour and we don't even realise we're doing it half the time. My wardrobe used to be virtually completely turquoise and coral. I had a lot of these colours in my wardrobe for years, and I'd just gone into the wardrobe. The only thing I could find which is like a turquoise colour is this top and this scarf. And it's really interesting because I've moved on to other colours. I've moved on to the magentas and the royal blues at the moment. I've also got quite a lot of emerald greens in there as well, and white. And I was thinking, where's the turquoise? So I'm actually going to go out and buy myself some turquoise clothes, because again, don't fight the flow of water. We're in a turquoise year, so you might as well get in and start living that turquoise vibration. Actually, before doing the coral, so I know I'm jumping around a bit, but that's a bit like water, isn't it? Water does go here, there and everywhere. So again, actually Metatron is saying this year, we can multitask a little bit better, I feel. But also, don't be too narrow-minded in that, I'm going to do something a certain way. What's going to happen is lots of different paths are going to keep coming, and you're going to have to really trust and go with your intuition in terms of which are the right ones. Last point on turquoise, though, I think, is this one, which I just wanted to sort of put my dolphins into the energy as well. This is actually my daughter's. I've pinched it from her bedroom just for the purposes of this meditation. And again, she's 7 and she loves dolphins, and that's not surprising at all, because these new spiritual children are very much in tune with all of the natural kingdom and the wisdom that these animals contain. Dolphins are about fun and play and being carefree. They're also very sociable creatures. There's 2 of them here. You don't see one usually. If you see one on its own, it's probably in trouble. So it's the turquoise theme as well, which is linked into the dolphin energy and linked into the whale energy, is one about getting out there and having a bit of fun and actually forcing yourself to. If you're a bit like me, that I love working, I'm not so good at maybe letting my hair down. Yesterday I actually went ice skating with my children, and that was great. I really enjoyed it, but I very easily could have not done it to start with. But I forced myself and I really enjoyed it. So again, that dolphin energy, just remember that this year as well. They're here to teach us how to have fun and to play, and also the importance of sociability and getting out there and meeting people. Right, lastly but certainly not least importantly, let's use the coral. So now I'm putting some coral angel around me. This is an angelic energy. It really strikes me that I haven't got a coral Metatron spray, and I really want one, so I'm going to make one of those as and when Metatron tells me it's the right time, which will be quite soon, but it's on its way. Coral Metatron sounds nice. But now we've got coral angel. Let's just tune into what she's trying to say to us today. Oh, she's just reminding me and you of the need of, no, not the need, that's not the right word, of the joy and the potential and the opportunity that is there for each of us at the start of this new year. Their coral is a colour which is linked into manifestation. If we look at the complementary coral bottle here, This is Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest, most abundant planet, and it's the one which says, stop limiting yourself. At the start of the new year, it's really interesting. We often think, okay, well, I could maybe do this and this, and then maybe by the summertime I'll have done this. Metatron is saying no, and the Coral Angel is saying no. Expand your horizons in terms of what you think is possible this year, because the Coral energy is also very expansive, abundant energy, and it helps us to manifest our dreams. So don't limit yourself, really, is what I want to say there. So can you see that this year is just very, very interesting? Firstly, from a colour perspective, I don't know about you, but I love the corals and the turquoises. I just think they are absolutely beautiful. And I'm staggered that I don't have any in my wardrobe, so that's going to be rectified soon. And that isn't a flippant comment, by the way, because the colours that we wear, we absorb the energy of that. It's not just a case of I fancy some new clothes. It's the colours that you wear very much affect your mood state. And if you think about it, if you get up in the morning and put on a black suit, as opposed to a beautiful pale blue suit, you are going to feel different. There's no doubt about it. So use the colour consciously. Use the sprays, use the bottles that we've got here. They're all available on my website. And more than anything, just really use Metatron to help you navigate this year ahead, because it feels as though it's one with enormous opportunity. It feels like, I want to use the word, it feels like an interesting year. Because I don't want to sit here and paint a year which just feels like it's full of roses, because I think there's going to be some challenges. I think if we use the analogy of the sea, I think the water is going to throw up with all of us some things that maybe need to be looked at. But again, like the sea, remember this. In fact, Metatron is really sort of saying this very loudly here in my ear. He's saying, remember that if you go through periods this year where it feels quite stormy and emotionally, the water around you is really churned up, you're really having to look at some stuff, remember that the sea never stays like that for long. That's the beauty of water. Water always really wants to find a balance and equilibrium. So, and that is always achievable this year. So it feels as though whatever problems or issues we may have coming up, they can be easily dealt with, and then you can move on to brighter stuff as well. But there's plenty of bright, positive energy as well for this year, and plenty of this beautiful coral energy, which is about really reaching out. It's a year to go for your dreams. I really feel that. It's a year to go for your dreams and start to make them happen. And use your sensitivity, your ears, your eyes, your intuition, your gut feel, your heart feel. Does it feel right? Does it not feel right? Use that as your steer. And with Metatron beside you, it can be a fantastic year. I'm going to pull one more card just to finish on. And this is from the Colour Mirrors deck. So we had the turquoise card, didn't we, which was saying trust the flow. Let's just see what card we pick for our end energy for now anyway. It's an orange card. Orange card, which is very much linked into the sacral energy. And this one is very much, orange and coral go very beautifully together. Obviously, coral, they're on the same sort of colour spectrum. But again, it's reminding you of the need for creativity and vitality, the sexual drive as well within people. It's about joy, it's about happiness, it's about getting out there and doing things and experiencing life. And viewing that orange energy, the coral energy, and this beautiful turquoise energy as a gift, basically. So this is a year where there are unexpected gifts to be found, but you have to go with the flow to find them. Okay, folks, I hope you found that helpful. If you want to join me on my Facebook page, it's Angelic Celestial Colours. I've personally got lots of new work coming up this year, which I'm very excited about, and I'll be telling you more about as the weeks and months go by. For the next few weeks, if you want to meet me and you're local, I'm going to be at the Hallmark Hotel in Bournemouth on the 10th and 11th of January, selling my Metatron bottles. That's a big holistic fair that's happening in the southwest. And I'm also going to be giving a talk on, I think it's the 22nd of February in Southampton, but again, sorry, no, 22nd of January, but again, look at my Facebook page, I've got details of all of that. Until we speak again, which probably is only a few weeks anyway, I send you lots of love for the new year and wish you well from me and from Metatron. Thank you. Bye.